You know, I do spend a lot of time on this channel talking about what not to do with kids, and there's actually a very important reason for that. In particular, I spend a lot of time ranting and raving on why the use of punishment, even appropriate punishments like taking things away and grounding and things like that, why I object to them so much and why I've seen countless times that simply omitting those things leads to a lot of improvements with kids. And the reason for that is that sometimes things that look really cute and benign and nice are not. Man, I just love this thing. I like unicorns. I like scary unicorns even better. Hi out there, this is Dr. Brett Pearce, child psychologist, and yes, I'm coming at you with another video about punishment, but it really is a very, very important subject because as a culture, it seems that we're pretty preoccupied with punishing kids, particularly when kids are struggling and therefore are displaying misbehaviors. And I object very much to the use of punishment with kids, which is not to say that I object to being in charge. It's not to say that I object to setting firm and clear limits with kids. It's not to say that when I'm helping a kid who is screaming in my face or trying to hit me or, doing any number of big misbehaviors in my office when I'm practicing as a child psychologist that I sing Kumbaya and burn incense and call it good. However, I don't do those things in a way that I feel is coercive or punitive. And the reason for that is that, in my opinion, very frankly, where we get into punishment and things as adults, there be demons that we have been told are, actually something cute and perfectly benign, something that's totally necessary for raising children and for getting kids to become happy, healthy, whole, productive members of society. Demons, you say, Dr. Pearce? Isn't that really dramatic and intense? Well, yes, it's me, but I really do mean it. It is very easy to deceive yourself, frankly, when you're in a position of power and you start to exercise that power to effectively coerce people that you have power over. And almost always, we'll go with always, but it's almost always, punishments are acts of coercion, really. They are, I will inflict pain on you in some kind of way unless you do as I say. Or they are acts of vengeance, or they're a little bit of both. Effectively, punishments are about lashing out. And yes, this includes grounding. This includes, you didn't listen to me, so I'm taking your phone away. You didn't listen to me, so I'm taking your video games away. Absolutely, that's the whole point of it. If you slow down and really pay attention, that's the whole reason we think that punishments are effective. That's why we think that they teach lessons. So there are demons there. There are demons there for everyone. Kids learn how to be upset and how to resent and how to fear, and that becomes a lot of the operating way that they then proceed with their relationships with us and in their lives in general. And we learn how to maybe tuck away our own difficulties and our own problems in important, intimate relationships because we can just simply say, well, you're misbehaving and I'm going to punish you if you don't stop misbehaving. And that can be very gratifying to me as the adult. Oh, my cat is, sorry, we're not going to cut it, but my cat she likes to nuzzle up against things. And so she came up to the stand, was like, whack. And speaking of punishments, I'm pretty sure she's punishing me right now for not paying enough attention to her right now. So, hey, it's very appropriate. But bottom line is, it is when we get into punishment mode with kids, it is the adult reflection of misbehavior mode, really. Because misbehavior mode is all about, I'm in a lot of pain. I don't really know how to handle that with wisdom and clarity and effectiveness, conscientiousness. And so what I'm going to do is tantrum, lash out, defy, become aggressive, become destructive, avoid handling my responsibilities. And for us adults, that mode makes us not feel good about what's going on. We feel concerned and scared that our kid's not going to, behave right. We maybe feel ashamed of ourselves as adults. We feel not trusted, not respected. All of that is activating to us as well in terms of our own pain. And then we go into this mode, which is what punishments are all about. So the reason that I focus so much on telling folks what not to do is the same reason that I'm sure a physician would say, well, as long as you're getting enough water and nutrition and rest and not, putting nasty stuff in your body, then you're probably going to heal well from being sick, right? Kids and people, and is interesting, kids, like all people, I guess, is what I mean to say, they have a sense of what's healthy, and they naturally are gravitating towards thriving and surviving. And very often what we have to do is get things out of their way. And it's not about it being a free-for-all. It's not about us not ever needing to kind of contain and guide. But very often I find that when kids are struggling, and they've been struggling for a long time, that we need to focus a lot more on what not to do. And what not to do is, well, it's not to punish. Punishments aren't effective, and decades of behavioral research, not years, decades, like as in 50 years, as in 50 years of behavioral research has shown us that punishments really only produce one consistent result. It certainly is not positive, lasting behavior change. The one result that punishment produces is anger. And for those of you out there who are psychology nerds, you can tell me that anger is a secondary emotion, right? Anger only occurs when we feel hurt or scared, which is to say, when we're experiencing some kind of pain. So, punishments produce one consistent result. They hurt. And that's why we think they're effective. So it should come as no surprise. But in many cases, when I'm working with parents, I find that there's a way that the fact that punishments are about inflicting pain in order to basically get back at / control, it's almost like that part's been hidden away, where they're like, well, I'm not, it's not about it hurting, it's about it teaching a lesson. And I'm like, well, why does it teach a lesson? Because it hurts. So at any rate, thank you for listening. I probably, if I looked, around enough, I probably could find a real soapbox to stand on in these videos. But this really is a very, very important subject. What not to do, and why I focus so much on it. Because I think that you will find, if you're struggling with a kid who's got a lot of negative feelings and a lot of negative behaviors, if you can focus on just getting things out of the way of the relationship that you have with that kid, and out of your way and out of the kid's way, if you can start to reflect on what your own issues are in this particular situation, because we all have them, and whenever a relationship is struggling, there are two pieces to that puzzle. It might not always be perfectly equally divided between two pieces, but there's two pieces. And if we start focusing on using things like problem solving and praising and handling feelings and cultivating positive transactions and things like that, we'll probably find that things go a whole lot better. So I'd say this is my 2 cents, but since I'm a psychologist, I get to say it's my 2.5 cents or something. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down below. It really does help out the channel. We recently reached 75 subscribers, which I'm very, very proud of. I honestly wasn't even too sure there was any interest in this subject matter. I do appreciate that 75 subscribers on YouTube is not necessarily that much, but hey, all 75 of you mean a lot to me, so thank you so much. I guess there's also a bell notification that you can hit to be notified when my next video gets posted, and you can also give me a thumbs up if you cared for the content of this video. So, thank you so much, and take good care. Bye-bye.